You're listening to the PRO Media Network, the next level in entertainment.
You're listening to the Pelicans post-game report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican post-game report on the PRO Media Network. I'm Big Q, the host, chiming with you on this this episode of the Pelican post-game report. And we're going to recap this past week's games. We got the Clippers matchup. We're going to talk about the Utah Jazz matchup, the Memphis Grizzlies preview, and, of course, the matchup against the Detroit Pistons. And we bringing in our Pelican post-game report key contributor. DC is in the building. DC, how you doing, fam?
I'm all right, bearing the circumstances, man. I checked out of the ER. I had a lightweight heart attack with all these 2 overtime games and then the game today. But glory be to God, just like Brandon Ingram said.
Indeed, man. I'm going to tell you something, man. It was a very, very, I had to go back and watch that game, DC, and go. It was a real, massive, interesting game, man. And it just showed me how much potential the Pelicans really have, fam. I mean, just to be honest with you, it was just awesome, man, just to see that occur. I like to say big shout out to the family members in the building. Big Smoke Dog, I see you. Teal, what up, Teal? My dog Teal in the building. Good to see you, Teal. As we keep this thing rolling, man. That was a fantastic game against the Clippers. Of course, unique view who that to you. But we're gonna preview all those games. We're gonna talk about the Pistons matchup. We'll talk about their win over the Pistons and the Jazz matchup, and of course the Clippers losing by 3, man, to a Clipper team that, I mean, they were just, had the Pelicans had cleaned up a few more things, hit a few more free throws, this would have been a different game. You seeing how they playing with Lonzo Ball distributing the ball, how he was doing, recording that triple double. It was absolutely fantastic how how they just responded, the ball movement, looking for the better shot, rolling to the basket. When the point guard rolls, the big rolls, and then they give them an option of what they're going to do. And it's just fantastic. You see that Gentry, hopefully we made the recommendation we did on the show about solving, and getting a steadier second team rotation as a kind of a floating rotation that Gentry is utilizing. A lot better performance defensively, but still, they're just still 16-27. One game at a time, a lot of basketball left to be played. Of course, they're saying Zion is supposed to be coming back on the 22nd. We'll see. But it's going to be interesting, man. It's pretty spectacular, to be honest with you, man. But yeah, Teal right. Free throws kill us. You got to take care. It's called free throw. It's free and it's a throw in it. It's free. Free means pretty much it's a giveaway. Nobody's challenging you. Just get up there, steady yourself, calm your nerves, and knock the shot down. And these fundamental errors have come back to kind of stolen wins away from Pelicans in these very close affairs. The Clippers are considered one of the top teams
also,
that's competing. So, we have to keep it going. Go ahead, DC. What you got to contribute, but before we get into the rundown.
It's also turnovers too. They made that look easy as turning around.
Yeah, they did.
Turn over, rolling over your bed. It's pretty easy to do for us. So we need to stop doing that.
Teal says Zoe is a dog. Love how he played the game. Yeah, I mean, Alonzo, man, Zoe Ball is an absolute wildebeest. I love that. I love how the 3 former Laker players are contributing. I mean, you got to give a lot of love. Brandon Ingram, B.I. as he's called, is an all-star. Zoe Ball is balling. He's shooting the 3. His confidence is there. You can see he's playing stellar defense. His distribution ability is outer worldly. And then you look at guys like Hart, who his name is his game, plays with heart and ferocity, finishes at the paint, finish at the cup, being able to shoot the three-pointer. Etuan Moore rolls into it as well with his high caliber play. And even Jahlil Okafor got going in the past game when he took it to Drummond. But let's get right on into it, man, because I want to start. We're going to start first with the first matchup against the Pistons. We're going to work our way to the current matchup. We just recapping the entire week's worth of action. The Pistons, of course, this was an interesting one too, DC, because most of these games are pretty exciting to say the least. I love how the Pelicans have been playing. Now, they had only 10 players available, the Pelicans, for this matchup, with 7 players out due to injury, including Ingram, Holiday, and Reddick. They opened the game by jumping out to a 28-16 lead in the first quarter. Okafor scored 19 of his game-high 25 and grabbed 8 of his game-high 14 rebounds in the first half of the game. Now, trailing by that is impressive by Jahlil Okafor, who's been basically a bench warmer. But we forget that this guy is a top 5, a top 10 pick, former top 5, top 10 pick, not that far removed. But in this one, New Orleans opened
2016, I believe, right?
Yeah,
about 4 years ago.
Wasn't that far long ago where he was a part of the process? Who was drafted the year before Embiid came in. Now, trailing by 16 points with 16 minutes in regulation, Detroit, they came back with a fourth quarter comeback, tying the game at 102 with 30 seconds left, forcing overtime after an unsuccessful shot attempt by both teams. Derrick Rose scored 10 of his 23 in the fourth quarter from Detroit, and they have a ferocious bench that gives them a lot of production. And I hope that our bench can also be – it's the same way with the Clippers. Detroit and the Clippers, matter of fact, the Clippers have the highest scoring bench in all of the league, and I think the Pistons are third on that list as well. Having a high scoring bench. They got 2
borderline all-stars on their bench, so I mean you can't look at that crazy too. I mean Derrick Rose 23 points. Lou Williams I think had like 30 points a day on the bench. That's 30 points just from the bench.
Just from the bench from one. Yeah, absolutely. And that was the thing. We had like Langston Galloway and a couple other players off the bench that was helping with the scoring this one. New Orleans opened the overtime period. Let's see. Derrick Rose scored 10 of his 23 points in the fourth quarter for Detroit. Then they went into overtime, in which the Pelicans opened up on a 9-2 run to take a 7-point lead with about 2 minutes left. The Detroit cut the lead down to 4 with just over 2 minutes left remaining. But Nico Melli answered on the other end, connecting on a 21-foot turnaround jumper, finishing with a career-high 20 points in the process. Lonzo Ball finished with 1 assist shy of that triple-double. He did tonight with 9 assists to go with 12 rebounds and 17 points. Really showed up big in that one. The Pelicans outscored the Pistons 61-43. Out-rebounded them 61-43 in that game. 61-43, the Pels out-rebounded Detroit. Now, Detroit scored 29 of their points. 29 of those points off of the Pelicans turnover, off of 19 Pelican turnovers. That's big. Conversely, New Orleans scored 10 of their points off of just 9 Piston miscues. So it was an interesting game. 117-110 was the final in that one. High score, like I said, was Jahlil Okafor. He had 25 and 14. Ball had 9. Rose was the top dog with 8 assists on his side. Jahlil Okafor just really took Drummond to the woodshed, man. I just got to put it – I can't put it no lighter than that. DC, what's your thoughts on before we play Coach Gentry's thoughts on the game?
Amazing game, amazing win. Going into this game, I think a lot of people expected us to lose. We only had one starter out there, and Jahlil Okafor just turned into a monster, man. I mean, Draymond, I kept getting his name wrong. Andre Drummond. He had to go hide in the cave somewhere after that, man. I mean, it was embarrassing what he did to the guy. He basically handled him so bad in the first half, they actually benched Andre Drummond, y'all. They benched him for most of the third and fourth quarter. And that was one of the biggest reasons we were able to out-rebound them. And we just out-hustled them, man. Lonzo Ball played amazing, getting the ball to people and setting his teammates up. Made the game real, real easy for Jahlil Okafor, as he said in his interview. And we just cut down on them turnovers, man. We would have never had to go to overtime.
That's a great point, about the turnovers. And you notice that they're playing together. They're learning each other. And that's a portion of the process. But also, moving the ball at that pace makes you more susceptible if you're not disciplined enough for the turnovers. So, but they are really playing. And to be honest with you, if you look at the team overall from what it was last year, the point guard position, they have the best point guard that they had at that point guard position in a while. I mean, last year we had freaking Elfrid Payton handling the ball, who can't shoot the 3-pointer, who can his only sticking point was he attacks the paint and he is able to play defense. Well, last year that wasn't the case. He sucked playing defense. He couldn't knock down a jump shot. So we have an upgrade there. That's one thing we've been struggling with since Chris Paul left. Then you were able to get help at the small forward position with Brandon Ingram. So both the point guard and small forward positions, or the 1 and the 3, have been upgraded severely. You have an all-star playing there. The last time you had an all-star at the 3 or at the small forward position was some time. We're talking perhaps Jamal Mashburn over here. I mean, that's been so long ago. But those, but the 1 and the 3, I'm telling you, that's how pathetically, we've been over that direction.
It was. What about Peja Stojakovic? Big Q?
I don't know. What's
Peja Stojakovic was an all-star.
Could you consider him a 3?
I think he was an all-star with him.
I don't know. Was that Sacramento or was it?
He was a tall 3. I mean, he was maybe 6'9", 6'10".
Perhaps. Okay, but that might be something. I don't know. But in the end, that's what it.
Couldn't play a lick of defense though.
He can shoot your eyes out though. But that's the thing. Let's hear what Coach Elvin Gentry had to say about the team's win over the Pistons. Here's Coach Gentry.
A lot of energy tonight. Jaleel was huge to start the ball game, but everybody who took the floor for you and you used them all had something to do with this win tonight.
Well, they. Jaleel was very aggressive and took the ball in and did a good job, and to the point where they didn't put Drummond back in the game. So I thought Jaleel did a great job. Frank did a great job. I thought Frank was really good defensively. So, like I said, it was one of those deals that was just a total team effort for us.
When you saw Ja had to go early, was it just kind of like, all right, let's keep feeding him?
Yeah, and sometimes we didn't have to feed him because he just brought the ball all the way down court and shot it himself. So, but for the most part, we tried to run things where he could catch it in the post because we have been very successful doing it.
Coach Elvin Gentry with his thoughts on how the team was able to take down the Pistons. Very entertaining, man, because to be quite honest, which I actually love how they've been playing. I still kind of look at the Pelicans and say to myself, when you matched up against a big team like when we were against the Lakers, try to see if you can get size for size. You don't want to have a lineup where you have 4 guards in there, undersized guards guarding guys at 6'8", 6'9", creating a disadvantage.
Elvin Gentry don't care about defense, man. You know that.
Good grief, and that's the thing. That's the thing that ultimately will hurt us in the end is the fact that you got to have more of a balanced approach and commonsensical processes when you're thinking about when you playing a team with length. Size mean a lot in the NBA, and you creating disadvantages From a defensive standpoint, you have undersized guards 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", guarding players of 6'8", 6'9", like what you've seen Drew Holiday guarding LeBron freaking James, or what you
No,
see
he was guarding he was guarding Anthony Davis. You got to get it right.
That is absolutely insane, man. And I don't either he was loaded on that Jack Daniels or something that keep his eyes red like that, because they ain't make a lick of beans to me to know that, you know, you participating and you operate like that. You have size there. You have Nico Melli, you have Jahlil Okafor, you got other size, other people that you could throw on guys that's big. You cannot always just roll that out and go and think small, go small all the time. We got size, use it, and most of our size guys are skill guys. Let's move on to the next matchup. The Utah Jazz, the Pelicans took on the Jazz. Now this felt like a revenge game, as it's like a really good rivalry going on between the Jazz and the Pelicans, and rightfully so. The Jazz used to be the New Orleans Jazz some time ago in the 70s. And it's really interesting to see that those two teams will have that kind of friction going on. But
we should have played for the name, man. Got our name back. We should have played for them right.
Well, the truth be told, the truth is the Utah Jazz were willing to sell Tom Benson the name the Jazz back to him. I think he wanted, what was it, about I think it was no more than $5 million for the name. I want to say it was between
come on,
2
man.
to 5
Tom
million.
Benson could have did that, man.
It was between
the
2
New
to 5.
Orleans Jazz. That just sounds great, man.
They were willing to sell the name back to him. They were willing to sell the name to him, and they were going to sell it to him and all that. But he didn't want to pay for the name. He owned the Pelicans baseball team. It was a minor league team that he watched as a child. When he became rich, he bought the team.
Why he could have let them stay the Pelicans?
Well, he had a contest that said you could pick the name of the team, and what happened? Mysteriously, all of a sudden, the basketball team bared the name that he owned, and nothing else, because you had the New Orleans Crew, you had all these other names, to get all these kind of other names that were pretty good names, but mysteriously
the New Orleans Crawfish.
It came out, but it was what it is. But let's get into this one here against the Jazz, 138 to 132. The game featured 23 lead changes and 23 ties. It was a battle. I watched this game. I really enjoyed it. New Orleans outscored the Jazz on the fast break, 23-9, including 17-4 in the first half of the game, with the game tied at 45 points. About 2 minutes remaining in the first half. They went on the 11-6 run to take a 9-point lead, which was the largest in the game, by the way. And with less than 4 seconds left, Donovan Mitchell, he banked in a shot at the end of the quarter from about 20-something feet away, and that cut the deficit to 7. That Donovan Mitchell is awesome, man. He's just awesome, man. He scored 18 of his 42. 42.
Charles Barkley said he played a bad game. Yeah. Charles Barkley said he played a bad game. He took too many shots.
46 points he took. Charles Barkley is a numbskull, you know. But trailing 71 to 65 with about 6 minutes remaining in the time frame, Utah then comes on a 20-9 run to kind of take a 6-point lead of their own with about a minute left in the period. Then trailing 93-87 with about 11:15 remaining in regulation, Pelicans went on another run. They went on an 11-0 run to take the lead, 98-93. They had less than 10 minutes remaining in the game. Then when it was tied at 111, Utah went on a 6-2 run to take it back 117-113 with 2 minutes left in the game. Pelicans came back again, 122-121 with about less than a minute left. What actually is about a minute .3 remaining. Then Ingram scored 4 points during that stretch, but a foul prior to the inbounds with about 0.2 seconds remaining, with Rudy Gobert converting one of the two, which was a very suspect call when they threw it up.
There wasn't no damn foul,
man. They usually don't make calls like that, meaning, you know, they don't try to dictate the game, but they obviously, that was a really suspect call. Reports came out.
Rudy Gobert did a good job of selling it a little bit, but Hayes really didn't even do anything.
No,
he was just there.
They looked at it, and various reports came out. There was no foul there. But that's what happened to you. It's just what it is. The referees just love screwing over you. Utah going into overtime. Utah ran out to a 132-127 lead, with about 2:28 remaining, but then the Pelicans responded down the stretch, ending the game with another run that finally sealed the deal. About an 11-0 run, Ingram scored a career-high 49 points, while Donovan finished with a career-high 46 points. It marks the first time in franchise history the Pelicans player and an opposing player each finished with 45-plus points in a matchup. But the loss for Utah, who were winners of the 15 of the last 16 games, snapped a 10-game winning streak. And that's huge because the Utah Jazz have been knocking the Pelicans' head around in this matchup for some time. It's good.
When won since 2014 before this match. I actually looked it up.
What's your thought process on the DC before Coach Gentry chime in?
I don't need to hear from Coach. Get hear from me.
I don't want to hear from you unless you got the red eyes.
I thought this was an amazing game, man. It was very entertaining to watch. I wish we could have did a little better on Donovan Mitchell. He was tearing us up. Brandon Ingram, though, man, wow. If you can't get him an All-Star game after this, I don't know what to say. Shame on you. This was pretty much like a playoff game. In a lot of ways, it was identical to the last game. It was very, very identical to the last game. I hate to see that call at the end of the game, but both of these teams, they were playing amazing basketball, and it was a chess match all the way down to the last seconds of the game, man. Just great basketball, good to watch, entertaining, kept you on the edge of your seat. And unlike most people, a lot of people I heard complaining about, them throwing water on Ingram after the game, saying, oh, they're celebrating like they won a championship. Man, this team has been through a lot. I was glad to see those guys in the locker room celebrating like that. That signifies that they actually care about each other, and they had a little fun. So this is one, when you go back on the season, if they're able to make a run and get to the playoffs, you definitely look back to this game and look at it as a major, major point of them being confident to go in there and beat a team on a 10-game win streak is absolutely amazing for where the Pelicans came from and where they are now. And they ain't even got Zion back yet, and they're playing some of their best basketball. A lot to look forward to in the future.
That's true. Zion Williamson, Drew Holiday, both guys making moves to get
I
back
forgot about Drew.
And that's going to be interesting. Here's Coach Gentry with his thoughts after the win over the Jazz. Coach Gentry.
To put what happened at the end of regulation behind him and win the game in overtime.
Yeah, it was great. They sit down there and they said, don't worry about it, we'll win the game in overtime. And and I know it should have never gotten to that point. But they did. They said, don't worry about it, we'll dig in, we'll find a way to win. And I thought we did a great job. Spider made some great shots. I mean, he is who he is. You got to give him credit. He made some great shots under really good defense. But when we needed to stop the most, we were able to come up with it.
Coach, I thought your defense in the first half was as good as we've seen all year long. When you consider the opponent and the weapons that they had out there, that team really to 21 points in that second quarter was a phenomenal job.
Yeah, it's our best defensive half of the year, really, and it's really our best defensive game. I mean, I know that's, when you see teams score 132 points, you go, wow. But I thought overall it was our best defensive game as far as following game plan, being into the ball, doing a good job with pick and rolls. I thought we did a great job with it.
Well, you shut them out you scored the last 11 points. They did not score.
Yeah, and I thought our bench came in and did a great job. Frank was really good. I thought Frank did a great job on him. Like I said, I think the guy made some incredible shots, but I thought we did a great job on him. I thought Fave was absolutely great, as he always is defensively. And then offensively, I thought we did a really good job of moving the basketball. And then obviously, B.I. was really in the zone. So we found ways to try to get him into space, and I thought he did a great job.
How can you
Coach Gentry, man, with his thoughts on what the team did overall, man. And to be honest with you, I was really proud of him taking this win, against the Utah Jazz. It was a quality win. The Piston win, the Jazz win, very quality wins, building towards something. Winning without key pieces as the younger pieces, Zobal, Ingram, those guys start to build that camaraderie. Derek Favors, all that guys. You seeing the what we thought the team's supposed to be, and people passed them off, said they wouldn't be able to be a team that would be ready for the playoffs. They won't make the playoffs. A lot of people counted them out. Now you have them upgrading their opinions, saying that the Pelicans, they are good enough to be a 6 to 8 team and could surprise somebody. Nobody will want to see the Pelicans, especially with a healthy roster going into the playoffs, and you have a healthy Zion Williamson, a healthy Zoe Ball, a healthy Ingram, a healthy Drew Holiday, a healthy Derek Favors, and all of that physicality, Jackson Hayes off the bench. It is absolutely spectacular. You take a look at some of the statistics from the players and the averages of what they're averaging, and you can see why this team is starting to turn it up and making it a difficult matchup for every team most nights. Ingram is an all-star, 25.6 points per game. He's shooting 48% from the field, 40% from downtown, and 85.5 from the free throw line. Totally all-star numbers and percentages. 7 rebounds a game. This guy is totally awesome. Totally awesome. Drew Holiday is the second leader in scoring, averaging 19.6 through 34 games. He's shooting just under 44% from the field and 34% from downtown. He needs to clean up his free throws. As good as Drew Holiday is, he's one of the poorest free throw shooters on his team. As a guard, he has to clean it up, shooting just under 71%. That has to change. But he gives in 5 rebounds and 6.5 assists, which leads the game. He's the leading assist guy, not Lonzo Ball, but that's soon to change. Then behind him, 16 points a game from J.J. Redick. 38 games so far. J.J. Redick tearing it up. He's shooting 45% from the field, 46% from downtown, and he's an 89% free throw shooter. These are your top 3 scorers. Ingram with 25.5. Drew Holiday with almost 20. J.J. Redick with 16. Then behind him is Zoe Ball brings up the rear. He's in double digits, 12 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 6.3 assists on the contest. Think they're done with the double figures? Nope, we have to throw you another one. Josh Hart, he's averaging almost 11 points a game, shooting almost 41% from the field as well. And then we have another double-digit scorer, Etwan Moore, 10.4 points per game, shooting 42% from the field, actually 42.5, 39% from downtown. And he could be a better free throw shooter if you look at it. He's shooting 60, almost 62%. Got to clean that up, Etwan Moore. How you shooting that poorly from the free throw line as a really good guard? And then just under scoring double digits is Derek Favors. He's 9.8, almost 10 points a game with 10 rebounds per game. This is fantastic. Jackson Hayes, almost 9 points a game. Jahlil Okafor, 8.5 points a game. Frank Jackson, 6 points a game. Nikhil Alexander, 6 points. So as you can see, the team is really stepping up in terms of.
We ain't got no wasted spots on our team, man. Everybody produce.
They producing. And what does this look like when you see Zion Williamson return to the fold? I mean, this is why a lot of people is excited about the Pelicans.
It's going to be scary, Q.
It's going to be scary.
Because I think Zion is going to help 2 aspects of team. One, I never mentioned before, but thinking about it now, I think he's going to help the turnovers. I think with Zion, potentially those turnovers can get cut down a little bit because he does a little playmaking.
DC, we're going to go into commercial. I want you to hold your that thought on that. When we come back, we're going to go into it. We're going to cover the rest of the Clippers game. We're going to preview and we're going to take questions. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Embrace Pet Insurance is more than just pet insurance. Embrace Pet Insurance promises to provide genuine support and certainty when your pet needs it the most. With personalized accident and illness policies, compassionate customer care, 24/7 access to veterinarian professionals, flexible wellness plans, timely claims processing, and online customer portals, their values is what makes them Embrace. So, when selecting a pet insurance company as a partner in your pet's care, you deserve a company that has your pet's best interests at heart. Get top rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Up to 90% back on bills at any vet, total protection, pet insurance and wellness, and dependable claims payments. Get the top rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Go to embracepetinsurance.com. That's embracepetinsurance.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Get all the latest news and updates from your New Orleans Pelicans at the Pelicans GEAUX, the new and official Pelicans Daily Journal, covering everything Pelicans.
Attention, everyone.
Get breakdown on games, free agent signings and potential moves, unbiased opinions and straight up facts with statistical analysis from GEAUX. Go to www.thesportsdaily.com/Pelicans-I-View.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Do you need a domain name? How about a host for your website that can work with WordPress? Try Namecheap.com. They make registering, hosting, and managing domain names for yourself or others easy and affordable because of the internet needs people. Namecheap is an ICANN accredited domain register and technology company founded in 2000. It's one of the fastest growing American companies according to the 2018 Inc. 5000, celebrating nearly 2 decades of providing unparalleled levels of service, security, and support. Namecheap has been steadfast in customer satisfaction with over 10 million domains under management. Namecheap is among the top domain registrars and web providers in the world. They offer a full selection of popular and unique domains along with fully featured hosting packages, SSL security certificates, WhoisGuard privacy protections, and more, all at the lowest prices in the industry. So if you need a domain name or hosting or anything else, think Namecheap.com. That's right, Namecheap.com. Check the description section below for link.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love, unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
There's a lot of reasons to be a fan, but only NBAStore.com has all the gear.
Are you a Pelicans fan? Check out the Pelican postgame report on the PRO Media Network.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you tuned into the Pelican postgame report on the PRO Media Network, recapping this week of the Pelicans games, man. Last week was crazy. We covered like 7 games or something like that, DC. This time around, not so many. But man, I'm saying, from what we seen previously, it's a whole nother world out here. Now, in this side of the show, we're going to finish up on some of the breakdown. We're going to talk about, we covered the Jazz matchup. We talked about the Pistons matchup. This time around, we're going to be looking at tonight's game, which is the Clippers. And you know, I had the opportunity to sit back and just watch this game. And man, I mean, it was a really live game. The Pelicans were, you know, leading in many parts of this game, and there was no reason why we couldn't beat this team. And the crazy part about it is a lot of people consider the Clippers as a team that you could see in the thick of things. Like, a lot of people pick them to be up there as national champion. I mean, as a playoff, as the NBA champion sooner or later, led by Leonard, and of course you have your Paul George is additions that were added to this team. But we gave them a lot. In this matchup, 53.5 is what the Pelicans shot from the field, 36.6 from three-point line, which doesn't seem that bad because the Clippers were 32.3, and they shot 49.5% as well. What really killed the Pelicans, like we started the show off with, was the fact they had 21 stinking rotten-ass turnovers. You cannot have that amount of turnovers against a team as good as the Clippers. They'll make you pay. And look at the discipline of the Clippers in this matchup, who only had 12 turnovers. That small indication show you respecting the ball, like we say on the show. Respect the ball. Respect the ball. Don't disrespect the ball by turning it over like the Pelicans have done. 21 turnovers hurts a lot in this matchup. Of course, Leonard finished the game 39 points, 15 of 28, 8 from 10. This guy was spectacular. They had him covered like a blanket. He was making some of the most difficult shots you could possibly imagine, and they were going down for him. almost like he had a magnet in the basketball that when it hit the hoop, it went in. I mean, it was absolutely phenomenal how they were shooting. And the Pelicans were shooting the rock ridiculously in this one. It's just showing you how good this is. Now, this Clipper team is a team that had already won 30 games on the season. 30-13 is their record coming into this. The Pelicans struggling, with their record 16-27. But man, they sure looked like a team that had the 30 wins had they cleaned up the free throws. DC, you seen all of this game. What's your thought process on this one, man?
I thought it was a great game, man. If only it could have just been a 2-quarter game. we'd have ran away with this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the Pelicans scored 80 points in the first half, man. I ain't never
crazy.
seen that before.
Yeah.
Never seen that before.
They had other lines in this one.
I almost think we lost this game due to complacency. I think we got a little full of ourselves, and we thought it was just going to be easy. And that shows how we handle the ball. There's no excuse for having 21 turnovers. You had 11 in the first half, and you still put up 80 points. So wow, what could you might have been able to score 100 points if you didn't turn the ball over. But after you have 11 in the first half, it's like, man, you can't come out the next half and then get 10, and then you only put up 20 points in the fourth quarter. I don't know, man. It's like we kind of let it get away. We didn't close it out. So it was a seesaw, man. This was a very high, like an emotional high watching them. Like, wow, they're really doing it. Lonzo Ball played amazing. He would have had a perfect game if he didn't turn the ball over 6 times. But then you had the lows of just watching them crumble in the fourth quarter, not closing out. A lot of us, we remember what that looked like in the beginning of the season.
A lot of free runs to the basket in that second.
Right. It almost looked like the old Pelicans team for a quarter, in the second half. But still a lot to be encouraged about. We fought back, stuck in there. We could have took it to overtime, had a chance to at least take it to overtime. So for them to stay in there, put up 130 points on the Clippers. I mean, these people 30-13. This ain't this the elite.
Yeah,
when we went up against the Lakers, we got to run out the building. But the Clippers are the elite, man. So we showing we can contend with the best of the best, and we still ain't got number one back. And I was just gonna say, wrapping up at the end before the commercials, that free throws. Zion Williamson will definitely help with free throws. I think he's at least a 70% free throw shooter.
Yeah, well, we definitely could have used them, DC, because they were 23 of 36 for 64%. They left a lot of points on the free throw line. And a disciplined team like the Clippers were 31 of 39 with 79.5%. So that goes to show you that when you can impact the game at the free throw line by hitting a large clip on your free throws, that would have helped the Pelicans seal this win. They would have definitely won because they gotten opportunities to line. You got to knock down those free throws when the time comes. 23 of 36 for 64%. Man. That is ridiculous, man. You cannot do that, and you can't. They created 2 really cardinal sins that cost them this game: the terrible free throw shooting, 64%, and the ridiculous amount of turnovers. 21 turnovers, 24 points represented there, and it's just absolutely asinine if you look at it. Plus, they were outscored in the paint, 64-52. That don't help either. Here's Coach Elvin Gentry tuned up next to hear what his thoughts on the loss over the Clippers. Here you go.
A lot of things, but in the end, there's too many missed free throws and too many turnovers.
Yeah, you're right.
End of the third quarter stretch, when we had a chance to really put them away, we're not able to do it. They kind of hung around and made that run start the fourth.
They're a good team. They got good players.
Coach, what was your message to the team after the game, knowing that it just got away from you?
That we play hard and we deserve a chance to win the game. Thanks.
That's Elvin Gentry. As you could tell, he was pissed off, man. They really wanted this game. And that's the thing, man. When you understand, when you know what you got to do, man. When you got to make things happen. Couldn't get it to going. Good. And he knows that they kind of they kind of let this one get away, man. And it's too bad because they could have really showed something. But hey, man, you got to live to fight another day and keep it winning. That's a part of learning how to win. Go ahead, DC.
There was a crucial play that I think attributed to Alvin Gentry's frustration. There was a play where Derek Favors was basically boxing out Montez Harrell, and Montez Harrell goes over Derek Favors'
I seen that. Yeah, with his back.
He scores, and they call a foul on Derek Favors. But, I mean, there was nothing. Derek Favors did everything the correct way. He did the right basketball play. He was boxing out his man, and he went over his back. That's a foul. And they called it on the wrong guy. Alvin Gentry challenged it, and they upheld it after even watching it. And it was slow motion. It looked even worse. Everybody in the building sees it's a foul on Montez Harrell except for the stinking garbage. What else you call them, Big Q?
Garbage,
trifling,
garbage, rotten ass referees. That's just a
rotten ass referees.
That's
right?
Yeah. I'm about to say you almost sound like me for a quick second.
Yeah, I was doing your spill, man.
Oh man, don't do that
with the referee thing.
That's all.
Nah, just with the referee thing. You know, I got to be me. Yeah. But yeah, man, I think that's what Alvin Gentry was teed off about. But he should have been more teed off about not giving Nico Millie more than 6 minutes. I mean, come on, man. The dude had a career-high 20 points against Detroit. You play him with the Jazz, he makes an impact, and we win. And you give him 6 minutes tonight because the Clippers, they didn't really go small, but they played maybe two guys that looked like they could play small forward on a forward spot. So he should have definitely gave him more minutes, worked in a few more minutes for Jackson Hayes. I mean, Jackson Hayes actually shot good from the free throw line. I mean, he hit 8 free throws. He shot 12 of them. That's pretty good for him. And Frank Jackson ain't miss. Frank Jackson didn't miss no shots. Like, I think he should have got a few more minutes, too. So, Brandon Ingram just ain't have it tonight. And J.J. Redick did some stuff, but I think you could have took a few minutes away from either one of those guys and Josh Hart and give some of them guys some more minutes. But he ain't going to be mad about that shit, right?
No, he ain't. Derek Favors finished the matchup. He had 22 points, 11 rebounds in this matchup. Ingram had 21, 6 assists, 7 rebounds in the contest, 19 points for Reddit, 18 for Ball, 18, 11, and 10 for Ball, triple-double. And then off the bench from the Pelicans, 14 from Jackson Hayes. He was perfect as well in terms of the field goals. 10 points from Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 9 from E'Twaun Moore, 8 from Jackson Hayes, who, like you said, was perfect. And Nico Melli didn't get much in this matchup, just 6 minutes. Didn't jack up a shot, didn't do too much, was there to pick up fouls, basically. So it's just interesting, man, to say the least, is that he's getting opportunity to kind of do these things. And we need to understand and know that at the end of the day, I keep saying that we need to establish perhaps a second rotation, a bench rotation that can build some consistency. You know, like if you have with most teams, they'll have a bench rotation who you know will be out there to come and play. Like the first team's starters have a chance to build camaraderie. Same with the second team. Our second team it just floats. You get certain guys certain night and others other night, and I don't know if that works for us. We have to have more of a steady bench approach to help win some of these contests. But when you're going up against a juggernaut like the Clippers, Leonard scored 39 points in the matchup, and pretty much everything else was from Leonard Williams. He had 32 points off the bench. I mean, shooting the ball. He was absolutely a monster.
Oh, you talking about Lou Williams?
Lou Williams, yeah, Williams. So he had his thing, and then Harrell, he was balling as well. 24 points on 25 minutes of action, and you're absolutely right about the play when he went over his back.
Montez Harrell, amazingly, he had 2 rebounds, 3 rebounds.
He had 24 points and 2 rebounds. That's it. But he was attacking. He was mostly in attack mode against the Pelicans in the matchup, and of course he used his girth against Jackson Hayes, who light in the ass, who got to pick up some weight. But the reality at the end of the day is that the referees really screwed up that call. That was a terrible call. But just like I keep lambasting the referees, because when you make a dumbass call like that and you don't correct it, you have an opportunity to correct the call, and everybody see that you're screwing up, but you're going to stand up there with your chest stuck out like you making a right call. Just makes you look absolutely a piece of garbage and trash. And I know I ride on all the times I ride on the referees, whether it's in football or basketball, but you give me a reason to. You give me a reason to. You're supposed to be professional. Y'all a bunch of clowns, man. How are we instituting these damn bringing cameras everywhere and bringing these angles only for you to look at them and still choose the wrong call? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? So let this be a lesson. Hit your goddamn free throws next time. Hit your free throws next time and respect the ball. Stop turning the ball over, 20-plus turnovers. Hit your damn free throws, and you wouldn't have to need a call from these garbage-ass referees who called that terrible call. And then don't forget the Utah Jazz call when they called a foul, and then they came back and said it wasn't a call. A lot of good that do you. Eventually, we did win the game. It didn't hurt us. But, man, I'm saying, man, it's like I gave the fight analogy early in the day when we was on the Sports Coma, when I talked about when Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder supposed to fight coming up on the 22nd of February, and Tyson Fury basically said that he switched trainers so that he can have an opportunity to go in the ring because he wants a second-round knockout of Deontay Wilder. And they asked him, well, why are you doing – yeah, that's what he said. He said, why are you trying to do that? And y'all, I know it's basketball. Y'all just ride with me right quick. I'm going to take you through this in here thing and tell you how it corresponds with basketball. Well, Tyson Fury, who's one of the heavyweights, the lineal heavyweight champion. Deontay is the American champion. Most of y'all guys are boxing fans. Y'all know these people. He said, I'm going to knock Deontay Wilder out in round 2. And they said, well, why you want to do that? It's because I'm not going to get the call from the judges and win on points. I have to go for the knockout. That's what the man said. Okay. He said, that's so smart man. You see what I'm saying? So you have to take it out of the rotten ass judges' hands by flooring them, man. If you got to KO their ass, you just have to KO them. Bottom line, you got to take it away from the referees, the judges. Same thing with the Saints, same thing with the Pelicans, same thing in the world of boxing. It's just what it is. You don't want to leave it up to chance. So the Pelicans, if they hit their free throws, which they were terrible, 64%, and then the other team shot the high clip. You have to hit the free throws when they're given to you, when you get the line. You have to hit them, and, of course, you cannot turn the ball over that much in the matchup. You can say visibly and very shaken, upset Gentry because you knew he had this game. You knew they had this game.
That call, man, I mean, when it happened, I don't remember the exact minutes. It was late into the fourth quarter, though. It was a very, you could just almost see the momentum change because previous to that, I can't give the refs, the credit for this L we got. The Clippers had just, basically established the lead after a long time of not having the lead in this game. I think it was 114 to 115, and when that call happened, it was around, they probably had about 122 points or something like that. So it was somewhere 4 or 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But, man, I mean, it was a big momentum shift when that happened, man. It's just huge call in the game. So I know Alvin Gentry, is set on his mind. But like you said, bro, there were so many things we could have did better to win this game. And I like your idea of actually shifting out a complete bench unit. Gentry does it sometimes, but a lot of times I like to see him. Yeah, he kind of mismatch people or shifting this person. I like to see when we shift that whole unit, and it looks better. And we still haven't really solved the backup point guard problem. But Lonzo Ball playing extended minutes.
Well, that's what
with
it
the
is.
Bench and with the starters, that kind of works. It works.
Right. He's staggering, sort of staggering them, where he gets a little bit of the bench and he gets a little bit of the starting rotation. But Frank Jackson is, my goodness, he's shooting their lights out. And he's a defensive.
He's almost like a shooting guard, though, man. He's ultra aggressive when he comes in.
Right,
man. Super aggressive. I love it.
You see him distributing the ball at times, but you would like him to kind of take be more of a distributor. If he would develop that ability, I think he can get an opportunity. But then a lot of people like yourself, likes Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's another 3-point. He was knocking the ball out.
They both what and what, man.
That's what I'm saying. One has the size,
but
similar. Frank Jackson, my goodness, man. He was trying out there. He's just a defensive liability at times. He tries. He really tries, and you got to get a kid that. But my goodness, no, they have not solved the backup point guard.
If he had about 6 or 7 more inches on him, Q, man.
He'll be Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He wouldn't be no different. He can't play defense that well. But anyway, let's go on to the next matchup.
I think he'll be a little better than with his athletics. He's more athletic than Alexander Walker.
It don't help his defense, and the guy crossed him over, almost stumbled. He was stumbling and stammering. So come on, man, 6 more inches may give you just that much to tilt your ass over on the foot. I mean, he was small enough to be able to just absorb it. But anyway, let's go on to the next matchup. We got the Memphis Grizzlies. Got to travel up there. This team is 20-22. Could you believe that? I thought the Grizzlies would be the bottom feeders in this division. Not so much. The Grizzlies are 20-22 and 12-12 on the road. Very difficult team. J. Morant stepping up big. Remember, he's the second. What was J. Morant taking? Second overall? Behind Zion. And what is he doing?
A lot of people saying we should have drafted him instead of Zion. That's the talk right now.
No, sir. We did pretty well keeping Zion. They're only saying that because Zion is yet to play. And it means for once Zion starts, he gets healthy, they're going to change their opinion. There's only one Zion Williamson. That's a once in a maybe 10-year type player that's coming in. J. Morant. J. Morant's a talented point guard, yes indeed. But we've seen talented point guards, but Zion Williamson.
I'm Team Zion all day, but I was one of the people who was like, man, we should trade Drew Holiday to try to get Zion and Morant. Morant is very much a special talent in itself too. I wouldn't say once in a generation, but Morants don't come around often either, Big Q.
We'll see.
Very, very special player.
We'll see.
We're going to get to see him up
That's
close.
what I'm about to try to tell you. We're going to see when they get healthy. But Zion Williamson dunking on people's goddamn heads and on Anthony Davis' head and all the fantastic stuff he do. It's easy to say that right now J. Morant is getting the better of the deal because the man hadn't played a game in the regular season yet. But what did this look like as time goes on? When you add Zion Williamson to with the mix that the Pelicans have, is all I'm saying. He's a fantastic talent, don't get me wrong. But it is what it is. They have him, and we got our guy. He's averaging 18 points a game right now, which is spectacular, 49%. We'll get a good look at him in this matchup. The matchup is he's leading his team in scoring and also in assists, averaging 7 assists per game. It'll be a really nice matchup of J. Morant versus Zobal. I really want to see that matchup. And, of course, Valanciunas, the former Raptor center, is there. He's a top rebounder. Brandon Ingram averaging just under 26 points a game, leading the team in rebounds as well with 7 a game. And Drew Holiday, if you look at what Drew Holiday doing, 6.5 assists currently, but I think Zobal will probably overtake him on the assist total coming up real soon. Now, Zion Williamson is listed to come back on the 22nd, so we won't see him in this game. But this will be an intriguing game because I didn't expect the Memphis Grizzlies to be this good. I'm not going to tell you no different. But I'm very pleasantly surprised because I want to see the Pelicans go into Memphis and take care of business against the Grizzlies. Another tough road game the Pelicans got to go under. Right now, currently, the Pelicans averaging 114 points a game while giving up 117. That's why you are 16-27. They're shooting 45% from the field, 46 rebounds a contest, 25 assists a contest, 5 blocks, 7.5 steals, and currently are 6-4 out of the last 10 contests. You take a look at Memphis, they're averaging 113.5 points a game while giving up 116 points a game, 47% from the field, 45.5 on the rebounds, 28 assists per game, 5.5 on the blocks, 8 steals a game. Let's see it about. They've won 7 straight. They're on a 7-game winning streak, and they are 8-2, 8 games, 8-2 in the last 10 contests on a 7-game winning streak, and are playing some really good ball. And some of the 7 contests that they won, they beat the Cavaliers, they beat the Rockets, they beat the Golden State Warriors, they beat the Spurs, and they beat the Timberwolves. So it's been interesting. But the Pelicans, out of the last 5 games, the Pelicans are 4-1, which is pretty good. The only loss coming against the Boston Celtics, who just annihilated them. And the last 2 wins were against teams like Detroit, where they went in overtime to beat, and against Utah. Actually, I'm not counting the Clippers loss as well. So, we add that Clippers loss in there. But prior to that, the team is a 4-1. I guess you could say it's 4-2 of the last 6 contests. But be that as it may, this will be the first time that these teams will match up all year out of the 4 matchups. And it's going to be interesting, man, because if you look at the Southwest standings, the Mavericks sit up at top 27-15 with Wonder Boy as they top dog on the 4-game winning streak. Houston has lost 3 in a row. They've dropped to 2nd. Memphis is now in 3rd after that 7-game winning streak. They've climbed over the San Antonio Spurs, who are 17-23, losers of 2 in a row. And the Pelicans are 16-27 in the cellar with a one game at a time approach. That's what it has to be. DC, I laid out the facts and stats. Before I throw it over to you, I'd like to give a shout out to the family members in the building. I see you, Kevin. Big ups to Kevin. Big ups to Smoke Dog. I see you. Appreciate your Smoke commentary. And I know I've been covering the statistics. I didn't get a chance to peek at the chat and see what some of the family members were saying, but I see your family. I appreciate your comments. DJ, I see your family. Big ups to you as well. Teal and the rest of the family. Unique view. So you heard the stats in the breakdown. You heard how talented this Jay Morant led team is. Winners of 7 in a row, sitting up there in third in the middle of the Southwest Division. Very tough matchup on the road. What happens?
I think the Pelicans take this game, man. This is the game where if you're serious about going and getting that playoff spot, you got to beat these people. And it's not like they have more talent than you. You know what I'm saying? They're just playing as a team. They're gelling. They're led by an excellent point guard who has great scoring ability, also has great ability facilitating the ball, making the right plays at the right time. It ain't going to be an easy game. And if anybody, we've been to Pelicans, we've had a problem with Memphis for a while. It usually was Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph. AD couldn't seem to get good games on Zach Randolph.
Because
DeMarcus Cousins was scared of him too.
Yep. Boy, they put that physicality. That's one thing that was an AD weakness. He couldn't handle that muscle game.
Couldn't. That's why he don't want to play center over there with the Lakers, man.
That's
he know
right.
He can't deal with them bodies.
Nope.
At least he know who he is.
Right.
But this is still the grind time Grizzlies, man. They still got a lot of that grit to them, They got some veterans over there helping to assist them in these wins. So, I mean, you can't overlook this team like we about to just go in there and steamroll on these people.
No, this is a different
team. I think the Pelicans definitely take this game. Drew Holiday we might have a Drew Holiday sighting, maybe, and that's enough to lead us over the hump. But after the way we played against the Clippers, and we did what we did to them, I think they have some confidence moving forward, even though they didn't win. But you got to understand, the Memphis Grizzlies went in and played the Clippers, I think, earlier this week, and they hung 140 points on the people, man, and won that game. So this is going to be a very entertaining game. I just wish it could come on a little later at 4 o'clock. I mean, everybody's still going to be at work.
Yep, 4 o'clock. Just have to have your DVR on or wherever, however you tape it. I know you're from Jamaica, but you got to probably get one shipped to you from.
Man, stop telling people I'm from Jamaica. I'm from no damn Jamaica.
But anyway, I think you're right, though, DC. I think a lot of that, man, ties to the fact that the Pelicans overall, man, this is a really interesting contest between two teams on the come up. Grizzlies seem to have it because their stars playing. Big ups to Jay Morant. He's doing it big, man. Young point guard, living up to that expectation. Zion Williamson, he can come in, remain healthy, man. Good grief, because we could definitely use his help. Drew Holiday, we don't know if he'll be ready. Hopefully he'll be ready, and they both make an appearance at the same time. That'll be just awesome to finally see what it all looks like. You've seen during the preseason what they look like in part. Even though some of the pieces wasn't always there, you had to kind of visualize and use your imagination.
Won all them games. We won all of them.
You did.
We didn't lose a game.
That's true. And maybe the missing piece, how B.I. has become an all-star, and you have Derek Favors, how he's playing. Lonzo Ball is playing. Imagine Zoe throwing the alley-oop to Zion Williamson. I mean, this is going to be special. This is going to be something awesome, man. And it's going to be really something special, to be honest with you. And I just think it'll be terrible. This is going to be really, really good. Yes, sir.
Got a question for you, man. That is going to be really good, and that is exciting. How do you think with Zion coming back and Brandon Ingram doing what he's doing, how do you think all that's going to mesh together?
Well, you would want to hope that it works the way it's supposed to, but Ingram, man, he's pissed about not getting that contract. And it's no doubt about it. Him stepping up and being pissed off like this, he definitely gonna get a contract, if not from us, from somebody. But hopefully he becomes that part. They give him the contract, but he's balling like it's his team. Now Zion Williamson, of course, a lot of people understand that Zion Williamson brings a large contingent of people with him to the Pelicans. When he plays, that whole damn arena going to be sold out. So it's going to be interesting to see how he plays. But I'm anticipating that Zion Williamson to come in there and they'll fit him in the system. He runs the floor really well. And the thing is, he plays defense as well. He's extremely, he's got all that excitement and energy, and he'll help out defensively as well as offensively. A lot of people don't anticipate that happening, like we spoke about. He'll run down the court and block shots in like a LeBron manner when he was younger. But LeBron would run down the court behind you and then wait for you to try to lay it, then pin your crap up against the board. I see a lot of that type of stuff with Zion Williamson's ability to score. But we don't need a really superstar Zion Williamson to take this team to the next level.
He get a lot of trash points too.
Right, you don't have to. That's the thing. Hustle points, like pulling, like he wrestled the rebound away from that guy, then tore the hoop down, damn near putting it in. That you're right. A lot of points that are not accounted for, hustling and just dunks and all that kind of stuff. He'll electrify the team. But Holiday, Ingram, Favors, Ball, and then the bench. Man, I'm expecting big things with him coming back, and I think that it'll give the team that much of a boost to have him out there. Now, who is your closer right now? You might notice, you say, okay, Brandon Ingram is the closer. At times he is taking on a role as a closer, so it'll be interesting to see how both of those guys.
I don't think we should have a official closer as just being one person.
Well,
because the way this team operates,
they're going to be a power struggle between the two. Let's just get that straight. This ain't Nickelodeon.
We stagnated when we get like that, though, man. I feel like if they let Lonzo Ball run the offense and we don't get into too much isolation, everything else will work itself out. Because Lonzo Ball is, I like how he passes, man, and who he looks to try to get what. And it's funny, a lot of times that these little passes that look ineffective or they look innocent or they don't look like they're anything, a lot of times when he passes to somebody, the very next pass is points. Almost like what's that term? You don't get credit for that in baseball. What sport do you get credit for that? Like the pass after the pass. What do they call that, Big Q?
The pass.
What sport? Yeah, like
football with yards after.
No, not football. Hockey. Yeah, people have said that a lot about him. Zion. I'm not Zion. Alonzo, he gets hockey assists. And I think if they let him run the offense, man, he's gonna feed the hot hand. And that's who our closer should be. It could be Redick with the last shot one night. It could be Brandon Ingram. It'll potentially be able to be Zion too because he's unstoppable on the post. Or Drew Holiday. Either one of those guys can close, man.
Well, see, that's the thing.
With the exception of Redick, just the last shot. With Redick if we need a three.
But we don't see that's the great thing of how the Pelicans are currently constructed. They're constructed to take the pressure off of Zion Williamson. Everybody want to see Zion Williamson added into the mixture. Notice how the team is downplaying his role. They know he has a lot of work to do in terms of preparing himself to play in this league. He still has to develop that jump shot. But if he is able to work around the basket like he is and do the things he can do, just be called upon to do the simple things. When he comes, we're not looking toward that man to have a game in which he's shooting three-pointers or he's becoming Charles Barkley or Michael Jordan.
I guarantee you're going to shoot some of them.
He's going to shoot some stuff because that's what Elvin Gentry wants you to do.
We got to shoot 40 a night.
That's what Gentry tell him. Shoot the ball. But I'm saying he's more impactful on it right around the basket. And they're going to have to learn how to incorporate Zion into what they're doing. And like I said, Brandon Ingram is playing like it's his team. I mean, he's averaging 25 points a game.
I mean, it kind of is
his team, right? And that's what I'm saying. So when they'll have to coexist together in some form of fashion, no doubt about it. But I don't anticipate him coming in scoring a boatload of play. We don't need him to do that. If you look at a team like Memphis,
I think he's going to score a lot of points.
He's going to score some points because if you keep him around the basket, he's going to fight for rebounds. He's going to get garbage points. He's going to do that. That's what Zion Williamson's good at.
He's going to get a lot of points on the free throw line, man. These people going to be following him, man. They're not going to want to deal with that. They're not going to want to deal with that, Q. He can get he can easily get 10 to 12 points from the foul line every night.
That's true. And I'm not disputing
Easy.
that. The only thing I'm saying is what he does do is he provides an athletic edge to the lineup. He gives them somebody that'll dominate around the cup, which you get those rebounds. He can run the floor really well. He'll electrify the crowd. And he's one of those special talents. Now, as time develops,
and he can fall asleep on the bench. Is that a skill?
No, that is, he's just getting his rest for the game. Just taking a cat nap, and when he wake up, he gonna be. He
did it again today for the Clippers.
Hey man, he getting his energy up, bro. That's all I can say, man. That's how I go.
Man, you think he might be taking some pain medication or something?
I don't know what's going on over there. I can't really comment on that one, DC, because it just seems like to me he shouldn't be falling asleep. These games are pretty eventful. It's not like some boring ass games. You know
the Detroit game, it was a little boring.
Actually, I enjoyed watching the Detroit game. That was a good
game, but the point when he fell asleep, it was a little down period.
Yeah,
the Clippers game, he had a lot of excitement going on. I don't know how he fell asleep during that game.
Right. So I mean, like I said, man, it'll be interesting, man, just to say the least, bro, because it just watching him how he played in the preseason was exciting to see that, and just to see how he would fit into this team, who's sitting what are they 16 and what are the record on this team?
It was 16 and what was
27.
26?
16 and 27. 16 and 27 right now. So every one game at a time, one win gets them at 17 and 27, gets us a little closer, and a little closer one game at a time. So we just have to remain.
We need an 11-game win streak, Big Q.
We just got to get one game at a time, and eventually we'll get to a streak. And I'm pretty sure they got one of them in them. They haven't had it all season long, but they've been missing some players. They finally learned how to play together, and I see some positive things happen, man. I really do. I like how they're currently playing.
Drew Holiday is going to make a big difference coming back to this team now. If he can continue to let Lonzo Ball run the team and he get his points like he used to do with Rondo, man, it would be very dangerous. And David Griffin, it was funny you talked about Zion in the preseason. David Griffin says that Zion is drastically improved and more athletic and capable than he was in the actual preseason before he got hurt. He says he's a upgraded version of himself. Zion 2.0. Can you imagine this?
Well, I mean, that he ain't blowing smoke. I mean, if you watching him and he thinking that this kid is going to improve like this, I mean, why would I mean, the guy is a tremendous talent, and we'll just see he's working hard to get back to the team. The team right now is where Drew Holiday returns, they're winning these games and staying competitive in these games without some of their key pieces missing. That's very promising. Anyway, we got to the end of the show, fam. I'd like to thank all y'all for joining us. Big up to Unique View, Kevin, my dog, DJ Austin in the building as well. Big up to DJ Austin, Teal, my dog Teal the legend, Smoke Dog, all the family members. Thank y'all for joining us tonight on the Pelican Post Game Report. Man, it's been a long day of nothing but broadcasting, all the way from Tough Tiger Talk to the Pelican Post Game Report. Man,
man.
So it's all good.
You had your no dose today, huh?
Man, I wasn't sleeping on the bench.
You don't want to be like Zion.
That's damn right. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't sitting on the bench eating sandwiches. That's for sure. But thank y'all for joining us on the Pelican Post Game Report. Thank y'all for joining us. Subscribe, like, and please share the podcast. We'll see you later with another week.
Peace.
Are you a Pelicans fan? Check out the Pelican Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network.
The Kleins family has been getting people to go nuts for old nuts since 1995. As legends have it, a number of the Kleins friends who heard the idea said you can go nuts trying to name a store like that. In the excitement, the Kleins thought their friends said old nuts instead of go nuts and proceeded to throw caution to the wind. Old Nuts has over 2,000 items, bulk and wholesale prices of a whole lot of your favorite fruits, nuts, and confections, a selection of gift baskets for any budget, any occasion, and provides one of the best and impressively rated shopping experiences on the web. Fact is, between their selection, service, speed, or their online presence and the virtual mirror retail experience, they have developed an enviable client base that's comprised of personal and professional customers who count on their remarkable range of gift baskets. Think of gift basket, think about Old Nuts. Check them out, oldnuts.com. Check the link in the description section below. Tea is your escape. It's your opportunity to create a moment for stillness, for reflection, for yourself. It's your connection to a world of senses, flavors both exotic and familiar, energizing and relaxing. It's your retreat from an increasingly turbulent world. It's the perfect paradox of simplicity and complexity. Teabox.com connects tea to people, uniting the richest flavors of the finest teas with the curious, the cultivated, and the adventurous all over the world. The freshest tea you've ever tasted, from crop to cup. There's simply no simpler way to experience the wonderful complexity of tea. Teabox, packing up the freshness. Tea thrives on freshness, and so do they. Teabox temperature and humidity control facility ensure that tea is maintained. The teas themselves go into oblique bags with aluminum layers that protect them from excess moisture and light. With Teabox, shopping for fresh, loose leaf tea is easy because you make an informed purchase. You know exactly where your tea is coming from. So for the freshest teas in the world, check out Teabox.com. That's right, Teabox.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Go to newfrog.com for all of your electronic gadget needs. Fast becoming #1 online seller of cell phone and accessories, consumer electronics, automobiles and motorcycles, home and garden items, 5D diamond painting crafts, electrical and tool supplies, computer and networking supplies, lights and lighting supplies, sports and travel items, toys and hobby supplies, apparel and accessory, mother and kid items, health and beauty items, and much, much more. Newfrog.com has up to 70% off on some products. And you can check out their weekly promotions for all the best deals. Remember, when thinking online electronics and gadgets, think New Frog. Newfrog.com. Check the link in the description section below.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.
What's up, sports world? The PRO Media Network is on a mission to reach 10,000 subscribers. So besides our regular programs like the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, the Pelican Post Game Report, Rapid Fire GSC, and others, we will be expanding out and offering other content like movie, anime, and gaming reviews for your entertainment. So if you enjoy our content, please donate at our Patreon page. Also subscribe, comment, and share, and help the PRO Media Network reach 10,000 subs. Peace.
You're listening